Well, it's not All-Star Weekend just yet. We got a few games before that. The Hornets played the Clippers tonight. They fall 117 to 115. They were up about 20 points. I got my boy Rod Boone from The Athletic with me to break down tonight's game. Like I said, up 20 points in the third quarter, and then all of a sudden you just break down and they end up losing 117 to 115. What happened?
Tough loss, man. The Clippers just couldn't stop hitting three-pointers. They hit 80% of the three-pointers in the second half, which is an absurd number. So from the Hornets, they weren't scoring the ball the way they were in the first half. When you combine them with the Clippers' hot shooting, it was just basically just their downfall. So the Hornets, tough loss here. You know, they could have won their 8th game at the last 11th games, the last few games here, but they lost tonight. They play again tomorrow in Dallas. But to not finish your first half of your home schedule on a high note tonight, to me, was a bad loss. They had the game in hand, up by 20 points. It reminded me of the Knicks game back in December when they were up by 21 against the Knicks and lost.
So we saw Jordan upset about that one.
Upset about that one. So a tough loss for them, but the good news is they can bounce back tomorrow in Dallas. We'll see what happens.
And see, you mentioned that, talking about bouncing back, and we heard Coach Borrego post-game say, you know what, we're not going to focus on this one. We're on to the next one. Oh, we'll get better. But when is this team going to get better? We keep talking about these breakdowns, and we're almost at the second half of the season. We've got to fix it. We've got to figure out what's going on. And then you have also the Hornets couldn't even stop Tobias Harris, 34 points for him, and ends up getting that game winner.
That was really the problem tonight. The defense let them down with Tobias and with Lou Williams just hitting threes from outside. Tobias had 34 points, got shots whenever he wanted to. You can see the guy really is an all-star. He got a snub. I'm not sure who else he would have been on the team other than him, maybe Karl Anthony Towns or whatever over him. But at the end of the day, Tobias Harris came out here tonight and won this game for the Clippers. Him and Lou Williams were unstoppable. The Hornets had no answer for those guys on defense, which is a problem. When you see guys scoring the ball at that rate, you got to find a way to kind of stop them, make somebody else beat you. The Hornets tonight didn't do that, and that's their downfall.
Well, let's talk a little bit of positivity out of tonight. Cody Zeller makes his appearance back from being injured, his first game in 2019. How'd you think he did tonight?
He actually did well. I mean, he had 9 rebounds off the bench through 3 quarters. He had, I think, 10 plus, when the game was over. So for him to come and play the way he played tonight, being out since December 29th, he played well. And honestly, it's probably a good thing, because if the Hornets are going to bring in possibly another big man, to have Cody back now to be able to showcase him to other teams that might be able to use him was a good thing. So for him to come back, play well, so he's healthy, was definitely a good thing for the Hornets tonight.
And you just mentioned what I was going to talk about next. A little bit of trade rumblings before the game tonight. Marc Gasol from the Memphis Grizzlies, that center, could possibly end up in Charlotte. The trade deadline is Thursday. What would that type of all-star player bring to this squad in the second half of the season?
Well, he would bring toughness on the interior. He's obviously a good pick-and-roll player. He can hit the jump shot. Basically, he's a typical all-star. Well, the tail end of his career, but the Hornets can actually use somebody like him. He still has enough goods in his body, in his game, to be able to come out here and be a compliment toward Kemba Walker. That's what we see right now. Kemba, if it's not him scoring the ball, he needs help every night. Jalen played well tonight, but they need a second, third, fourth scorer every night. Gasol gives you the option. He can hit shots from the outside, from the inside, has the baby hook going on. So they can get him from the Grizzlies. To me, it'll be a good thing, because he can actually add a lot to his team on the interior and also the outside as well.
And it was exciting to hear some of those rumblings before the game, because a lot of people don't think that the Hornets were going to make any type of trades by the time that the trade deadline came. So excited to see that we may have a new player. Some guys may go. Depends which way you want to go. Lastly, heard that you might be in that three-point contest for All-Star Weekend.
Not me. It's actually Kemba Walker. So think about the hometown fans, okay? You're going to have Kemba Walker in a three-point contest. You're going to have Miles Bridges, who had a incredible shot rejection tonight against Montrezl Harrell.
I got it on tape.
Playing volleyball, basically, with his dunk attempt. And then you have Kemba playing the All-Star game as a starting player. So it's going to be lit here for All-Star game, for sure. And it's going to be exciting. Can't wait for it, honestly.
So we get to say lit. It's going to be lit. You heard Rob Boone just say it, man. It's going to be lit in the Queen City, man. Man, you're only 21, So All-Star Weekend coming up, but we got still a few more games. They're going to play Dallas. They're going to play Atlanta. And then that's in the Pacers and then the Magic. So, right. And it's crazy, because it doesn't seem like that much time is left in between All-Star Weekend, but it is. And that that's going to be the time where these guys are going to get a little bit of a rest for the ones that aren't playing. I mean, Kimball will still get some rest, and Miles as well, use his arms just a little bit.
But they won't get a lot.
Right.
They have just 2.5 days. Their first practice back is that Wednesday after the All-Star break. So for those guys, Kemba and Miles, it's going to be a long weekend, but I'm sure they will enjoy it.
Yeah, so looking forward to it. Everybody's excited for All-Star Weekend. We're not excited for the traffic. So, if you guys come in for All-Star Weekend, just come for the weekend, and then you got to leave right when the game is over because we don't want none of that Super Bowl traffic in Atlanta. Appreciate you, Rod, for giving me a couple, minutes of your day. It does cost me every time I do this. So, we got to sign off. All right, we'll see you next time.